Hey, welcome to the Original Brew Collective podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are on another episode. My name is Ben.
And I'm Robert.
And today we're drinking a beer that is a collaboration with Alvarado Street Brewery that has locations in Salinas, California, Monterey, California, and also Noble Ale Works, which is located in Anaheim. So could you tell us a little bit more about the beer we're drinking?
Absolutely. So if you know us, you know we love a good collab, and these are some really good brewing companies. We've had multiple beers from both of these companies, always solid brews. So we're really excited about this one. This one is called #margtime. That is actually #margtime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it is a...
That's what time it is right now.
Yeah, it is. It's... What time? Oh, wait.
It's #margtime.
It's #margtime.
Let's do it.
Great. It is a margarita-inspired gose with lime, agave, and Big Sur sea salt, which kind of holds a special place in our heart because we live not too far from Big Sur.
I love Big Sur.
We love Big Sur. So it's in California, if you're not familiar, on the North Coast, Big Sur. So yeah, we're really excited about this one. I honestly, I haven't looked at reviews. Have you looked at reviews?
Mm-mm.
So it's kind of a surprise, but we know both brewing companies.
Yeah, I got it because I liked.
Yeah, we're very familiar with both, and they don't make bad beers. Like ever. So I'm gonna crack this one open, and Ben, while I do, you want to describe the can?
The can is, I really like the can on this one. So it's pretty, it's kind of, it looks classic. You know, there's a blue sky with palm trees, a hotel building in the back, and then in the blue sky it just says #margtime, which is the time it is right now.
They make you feel like you're at a resort on vacation with the
for sure.
in what looks like a hotel.
Yeah.
And so if you're not watching with us right now on YouTube and you're currently listening on your preferred streaming podcast, you will not see this, but we are drinking out of margarita glasses.
Yeah, we are.
We figure, why the hell not?
Yeah, exactly.
#margtime out of #proper glassware.
Oh.
I mean, some might argue this isn't proper, but you know what? We've done worse. We've drinking out of bowls before from Back Channel Brewing Company. Yeah.
This definitely has a big,
it does. So I feel like this is actually,
at the top.
I think this is appropriate, the margarita glasses. I think it
I think
suffice.
it's very appropriate.
If you missed that bowl episode, we drank out of beer bowls. Back Channel Brewing, go give them a follow. They brew actually really good beer, but they're known for creating the beer bowl trend. So people drinking out of bowls. They founded that. And so we were lucky enough, they sent us a crowler of one of their beers called Dunzo. It was actually, they renamed it. It was originally Gonzo, and they renamed it to Dunzo, sent it our way, and they sent us each beer bowl.
I still have that bowl.
Yeah, as do I. And it was
I guess
really
that'd be weird
experience.
if I just threw it away.
That would be weird.
Wouldn't make sense.
But point being, it's kind of a similar experience here with these margarita glasses because they're so wide open. Obviously, the reason being because this is #margtime.
Yeah. And so pouring it, there's no head on it, but I think that might have to do with.
Well, it's the style. It fizzled out pretty quick.
Yeah.
It goes up, but also it was kind of the pour idea.
In the glassware.
There was the glassware. There was some initial head and fizzing and stuff.
I will
right
say
away.
the color of it reminds me of a margarita.
It does.
A classic margarita.
It does look like a classic margarita.
It really does. It has nice bubbles.
Yeah, it's got almost opaque yellow, light yellow.
Dude, it looks like a margarita. If you've ever had a margarita, not blended the rocks.
Yeah, we're not talking like a weird green margarita.
No.
Like a pre-made margarita.
A margarita on the rocks.
A real margarita.
Yeah. Well, we don't have it on the rocks, but yeah, this looks like a margarita.
That would be butchering the beer. We're not going to put ice in our beer.
Should we smell it?
Yeah. It's weird because I expect it to smell like a margarita, being in the margarita glass and looking like a margarita. It just smells like a really good gose.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of tartness there.
It's citrusy. I get some citrus on it.
Yeah. This smells, I mean...
kind of some sweetness too, probably from the agave.
Yeah. Yeah,
it smells really good.
It smells refreshing.
Very refreshing. I think this one, did you say it's 5%?
5.5.
It's 5.5?
Yeah, 5.5 ABV.
Okay.
Yeah. Smells good. I want to try it.
Yeah, let's try it.
Let's try it. well, it tastes like a gose, but it tastes like a margarita. Like, that tripped me out on that first sip.
That's interesting.
It's interesting because it tastes like a margarita, but you get that. I mean, it also, like I said, it tastes like a gose, but you get the margarita flavor, but with the carbonation and everything, which really threw me off.
It tastes
in a like, not in a bad way though. It's good.
I mean, it's a margarita inspired beer, and they nailed it.
They absolutely nailed this, and that back end, tons. I get the solid notes of that salt, that sea salt.
Oh yeah.
There. Absolutely.
Which is really cool because when you get a margarita, there's like this salt on the rim.
They nailed this one.
Yeah.
So if you like margaritas and you like that salted rim,
I actually do like margaritas a lot.
As do I.
Yeah.
That's what this is. Like that.
It's really refreshing.
Yeah.
And it has the citrus notes. I'm getting mostly, it's like lime for me.
A lot of lime up front.
Yeah. And then on the back end it's the salt, which is super. I like it a lot.
It's good.
I didn't know if I'd like this, but I really do.
Honestly, I've had beers and we've had beers that are salted. I've salted them. This by far, I think, so at this point, is the most like identifiable right there. That's the salt. Yeah. I'm not getting a whole lot of the sweetness from the agave, but absolutely upfront lime, back end, like just the salt kicks in.
They like I said, they called it a margarita inspired gose.
They nailed it.
They did.
This is spot on. I wasn't sure.
They got what they were going for.
Absolutely. I wasn't sure what to expect. Obviously, I said we love both these breweries, incredible beers, but I didn't know what to expect for this one, and this is spot on for what
I haven't really had a beer like this before. It's kind of fun.
It's definitely unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't, like, if someone was like, oh, I just, like, I want a beer. Like, I want a really good beer. This is a good beer. But, they want something that's actually more beer. I wouldn't recommend this one, but I really like this one.
Mm-hmm.
This is, hats off to them. They nailed this.
Yeah. For
the margarita-inspired gose. Mm-hmm. This is very good.
It is good.
Spot on margarita.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I prefer this over a margarita.
Yeah. It's awesome.
I imagine a crap ton less sugar as well. Hashtag stay fit.
I don't know if this podcast should hashtag stay fit because we're literally just drinking beer.
Yeah, all the beer we drink. Oh, if you'll notice, I'm wearing my Alvarado Street today, actually, or Alvarado Street shirt today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's awesome.
Thanks, man.
I like it.
Thanks.
So before we get into each episode, we do a brewery talk, which is just casual conversation that you'd have at a brewery. I have a fun fact for us.
Let's hear it.
So, after the Prohibition, which was the ban of alcohol in the United States of America.
Worst time in America ever.
Those were dark times in American history.
Dark times.
But after the Prohibition, the president at the time was FDR, Franklin D. Roosevelt, and he quoted, "Well, America, I guess it's time to have a drink." I thought that was cool. That's a fun fact. That's what he said after the Prohibition.
Good for him.
I know. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it is cool. Good for him.
That was it. That was my fun fact.
It's FDR.
It's FDR. Thank you for that.
Thank you, FDR.
For that quote. So, what are we talking about today for Brewery Talk?
Yeah, we've kind of, in the past, we've had the theme, whatever the hell we want. In fact, last episode, you came up with something on the fly, and it was, if you haven't listened to it, it was about technology.
It got weird.
And AI and everything. That was kind of on the fly as well. So, kind of sticking to that as well. Wanted to kind of just keep sipping this beer. We'll talk about if anything changes. Maybe we'll get some more sweetness. But we're going to talk about what do we think of when we think of margaritas. Mm-hmm. And so obviously margaritas, Mexican food, Mexico. Ben, what comes to mind? What's your favorite Mexican dish?
My favorite? Oh my goodness. My favorite Mexican dish. I love Mexican food.
Yeah.
I would probably say I like the classic burritos. I like burritos.
Yeah, actually, so you go to certain regions of Mexico and you won't be able to find burritos.
Really?
Yeah.
I really like enchiladas as well.
I think enchiladas. Yeah, I think you're fine.
Yeah.
I just.
What's your favorite?
Oh man, I do love a good California burrito. So we're from California. I actually have some.
I just really like burritos.
I have some friends that are from the East Coast, and they were talking about how when they come to California, they've been to California before, but they were like, next time we come, we really want to have a breakfast burrito experience, and especially in California. And I was like, that kind of took me off guard. I was like I didn't realize that was a California thing more so. I'm sure probably in Texas or some certain other particular states, it's probably a thing. But they asked me, they're like, oh, we really want a California burrito, like a breakfast burrito from California. Robert, what goes into your breakfast burrito? Like, what is a necessity? And I was like, oh, that seems kind of weird. I do love a good breakfast burrito, but I said, obviously eggs. I do actually like beans, specifically like refried or pinto in my breakfast burritos. One thing I noted was potatoes. You have to have potatoes in your breakfast burrito. And they were caught off guard. I thought that was the weirdest thing.
Really? And that's actually what I thought would be what they thought was weird.
But I realized every burrito that I've had with potatoes is called a California burrito. So it's probably they've never even heard of that and thought that was that's why they probably thought it was super weird.
Yeah.
It's super good.
It is
You
good.
need to have it. You need to have your potatoes in your burrito.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It is good.
There's some restaurants, usually like they're not as nice, Mexican restaurants, but they'll like throw in like French fries, which are still really good. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, you can have like some good, like well seasoned, like kind of chopped, diced potatoes that are, or wedges, super good.
Yeah.
I'm kind of siding with you a little bit. Burritos.
Yeah.
I mean, burritos are a good go-to. I also, when we go to restaurants, I like to like split a dish of nachos,
Yeah.
like good nachos, and then maybe get something else as well in addition to. But like for the appetizer, I love nachos. Yeah. Margarita time also makes me think. Obviously, we were talking about Mexico, which makes me think of like Mexican music. When I was a kid, I don't know if I've ever told you this story, Ben.
Oh my gosh.
When I was a kid, I was in I was in kindergarten, living in San Jose, California, and I don't know why we were doing this, our kindergarten class. It must have been like approaching Cinco de Mayo, but they started having us make these giant like construction paper sombreros that we had to wear, and then learning this weird, what they call a Mexican dance.
Oh my goodness.
And so we had to couple up as kindergartners, hold hands, and like kind of like this weird dance, very simple. You kind of stand there and you just like do left foot kick, right foot kick, and your partner would I think do the opposite. And they made us do that to the song like da dun da dun da dun da 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 dun da dun da dun. And so my partner, I think it was the morning of, maybe the day before, we're doing rehearsals because obviously wrangling that many kindergartners to do a dance wearing these paper sombreros was not easy. My partner, her name was Kessie. I didn't name her. I don't know why her name was Kessie, but her
Robert
parents.
and Kessie.
Yeah, it was Robert and Kessie. Kessie threw up while we were doing the dance on like the floor and on my shoes. So I don't know if it's because she just hated dancing with me that much or what.
Oh my gosh.
But she threw up, and I remember just like kind of being like, "Whoa, what happened?" And so I got to dance with one of the teachers.
Ooh.
Wow.
Okay, I guess.
But yeah, that's something that stuck with me.
So,
I wonder if Kessie ever thinks about that.
Because you really don't like, probably.
Probably does. She probably thinks like, man, remember when I threw up on that kid's feet?
Yeah.
Thanks, Kessie.
Do you think that started your aversion to, I guess throw up's pretty gross.
To women in Kessie?
Just like, because you have a hard time with, even with like pets, like picking up poop and stuff.
I mean, Kessie didn't poop on my shoes. She threw up on my shoes.
I know, but just like that aversion in
No,
general.
I don't have an issue with throw up.
Oh, really? I do.
Okay.
I just
Well,
really...
you would have. Good thing you didn't dance with Kessie.
No, like I can if like we don't need to go down there. I just don't like cleaning it up.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Now, I've helped people who have maybe like drinking too much or are like sick and stuff. It doesn't bother me so much, honestly. But you're right. Poop does bother me.
Mm-hmm.
Changing cat poop. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
horrible. Funny. Absolutely horrible.
I have a story that reminds me of margaritas.
Let's hear it.
Well, so obviously in margaritas, tequila is in margaritas. And I was on a cruise one time with my friends, my wife, and you guys weren't there, actually.
No, we weren't. It was other friends. He cheated on us.
And we went to a comedy show, and for whatever reason, this comic, the comedian.
How funny was it?
He was pretty funny.
But like not the funniest.
Not the funniest.
It's probably because I wasn't there. You know?
Exactly.
It's all with the company.
Exactly. So the comedian, he was one of those comedians that interacted with
The audience.
Yeah, and that was kind of like a bit that he did. He interacted with the audience. And we were sitting in the front, and he started interacting with me, and I don't know, I hate that. Like, I didn't want him to call me out at all. And I just didn't want that, I guess, attention. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable.
It's definitely Ben's personality.
Yeah, and so he ended up asking if I would come, and there was a lot of people, it was a big
Cruise.
part of the cruise, and like a big section, so there was a lot of people there, because it was at night, and it was, I don't know, and it was fun, but he asked if I could come out there, and if I would do a shot of tequila with him, and I said I would, and so he like had an assistant or something, like go get shots of tequila, and so he continued on his show, and then the assistant comes down and like brings the shots of tequila, and he calls me out there, and we take a shot of tequila together in front of like everyone on the cruise ship, and then I sit back down, and he's like kind of getting drunk, because he's part of his thing is like chugging beer, like doing a beer chugging contest with other people on the cruise, and so like you could tell that he's starting to get a little tipsy, and he ends up calling me out again to take another shot with him. And so I said I would, and so I went, because I wasn't drinking a lot, but then I took another shot with him in front of everyone. And then afterwards, after the show and everything, we were at the bar, and he comes up and he starts talking with us after. And so we're like hanging out with him, and he invites us to go like hang out with the dancers on the cruise and stuff.
What?
Yeah. And we ended up actually not doing that, because we weren't sure if he actually had a relationship with the dancers or if he was just drunk, but people were like offering to like buy me shots like the rest of the cruise.
Oh dang. So how many shots did you have the entire cruise?
Not that many.
Boo.
I think I had 4 that night.
That's a decent amount, actually.
Yeah.
I don't do shots.
I don't either, and it wasn't, I'm not like a heavy drinker, so I don't know, and I don't really want to just like take shots with strangers that I don't really know, because they were obviously drunk and like saw it, and they're like, oh, we'll buy you a shot, and I was like, oh, that's okay, like no thanks, but it was funny. It was.
Sounds cool. You were kind of a celebrity on the cruise.
Yeah, people knew me after.
Yeah,
they were like talking to me after, and
so the shot was tequila.
It was tequila.
It was tequila.
Shots of tequila.
I think we mentioned this previously on the podcast. It might have been in the last few podcasts. It might have been when we were in Sea Ranch. If y'all were listening to that one of those two that we did in Sea Ranch, California, but tequila related to margaritas, #margtime, has to be brewed in certain regions of Mexico. So in Jalisco, and then very select other very small regions, few and far between, or else it's not considered tequila. So tequila,
interesting.
Yeah, so tequila is falls under the umbrella of what is mezcal, which is, just anyone who doesn't know any better would consider mezcal tequila. It's not. Tequila is a type of mezcal, and it has to be made within the certain regions with blue agave to make a tequila.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it has to be with blue agave, and it has to be made in these certain, very particular regions. Anything outside of those regions would be mezcal, which is very similar to tequila, but it has much more of a smoky flavor.
Yeah.
And I actually really like mezcal.
Okay, I have a couple things, and they'll be very brief. So first, did you know that Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul, the stars of Breaking Bad, have a tequila company together?
Yes, I did know that.
It's so funny to me. Yeah. It's called Dos Hombres, I think.
Dos Hombres.
Yeah.
I actually, a matter of weeks ago, found that out.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's because they're coming out with a new movie, right?
Wow.
Yeah, so if you're a Breaking Bad fan...
And the movie looks pretty cool.
You probably already know Breaking Bad. There's a movie coming out. It looks incredible.
It looks good, yeah.
And it has, a lot of the stars in it, so...
Well, I really liked the character of Jesse Pinkman.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited that he's getting his own movie, because I think Aaron Paul is a great actor.
I looked up a few months back how many times Jesse Pinkman says the B word in it.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it just because I don't want to have to bleep it out right now. It's way less than, I don't remember the number, but it's way less than you suspect.
It became a meme, so you kind of, and it was kind of his catchphrase.
Yeah, it was his catchphrase. It was like, what? be. And
Yeah.
but he doesn't say it as many times as you think.
Huh.
Yeah.
And then the last thing before, like, I don't know, we wrap things up, I guess. There was just this, and it was pretty recent, and I thought it was a great moment that just in our lives was when we went to San Francisco for my birthday, and we ended the night. It's been a dream of mine to like just end the night on a rooftop bar.
Oh yeah, we talked about
in
that.
a big city.
Yeah.
And we ended the night on a rooftop bar in a big city, and the sun was setting, and we were in San Francisco, and like we were on this bar, and we like got a really good spot because it was
We got probably
packed.
the best spot.
It was packed, but we were in a great spot that was like kind of
It was
overlooking at
overlooking
least part of the city.
It was the skyline, but the
Yeah.
sunset.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we had a picture of margaritas,
Yeah.
or a margarita picture, and
Did we get chips and salsa?
I
think we
no, we ordered chips and guacamole,
They
and they
never
never
came.
brought it, but it was
So-
fine because we didn't have to pay for it. But.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, but we had the picture of margaritas, and oh man, that was great. That was a great time.
That was really good.
Yeah.
So once again, we are drinking #margtime from Alvarado Street in Noble Ale Works. It's coming in at 5.5 ABV. It is a margarita-inspired gose brewed with lime, agave, and Big Sur sea salt. This is spot on margarita.
Yep.
I like it better than margaritas. I love beer, so I like it better than margaritas. But they nailed the flavor.
They did.
Like it's
100%.
on point. This tastes like a carbonated margarita.
And it looks like one.
And the color, yeah, that's actually really.
It's so, and
It tastes like one. It
especially
looks
if you
like
pour
one.
it into margarita glasses, it's gonna look even more like it.
That's true.
But it does, like the color of it. It looks like a margarita.
It does. Yeah. So this one is absolutely a solid beer. They're masters of the craft. Both breweries, they nailed it. It tastes like it. It looks like it. I prefer it. It's really good.
It's really good.
So thank you all for listening. We really appreciate it. If you can, get this beer and give it a try. If you can't, sorry. But at least go follow the breweries. So
you can see
Alvarado,
what they're coming out with.
yeah, go follow Alvarado Street Brewing. They're always putting out some incredible beers. And then go follow Noble Ale Works, also putting out really good beers. Northern California, Alvarado Street. Southern California, Noble Ale Works. Give them both a follow on Instagram. I'm sure they'd appreciate it. Thank you for listening. You can give us a follow or subscribe. We're on YouTube, obviously, if you're watching. If you're not watching and listening, we're on YouTube. Go follow, subscribe on YouTube, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, go subscribe, review, and rate. And then any podcast streaming platform that you're listening to, also feel free to subscribe. And then you can follow us on our social media channels.
Yes, so on Instagram and Facebook, we are at Original Brew Collective. On Twitter, we are at Brew Original. We also have our personal beer Instagrams. So Robert's is
Robert_OBC.
and I'm at Benjamin_OBC. So yeah, once again, thank you so much for listening. We like to end our episodes with a cheers. And I'd just like to end this one by cheersing Walt Disney.
Why Walt Disney?
Walt Disney, there's a lot of reasons.
Well, first of all, Noble Ale Works is in Anaheim.
Reason number one.
Disneyland is in Anaheim.
Reason number two.
And Ben, are you going somewhere
I
soon?
get to be going to Disneyland pretty soon
There you
with
go.
my daughter for the first time.
Exciting stuff.
That'll be very exciting. And for just his like creative, innovative mind.
Yeah.
Gosh, thank you, Walt
Absolutely.
Disney.
Thank you,
Cheers
Walt
to you and cheers to all of you. Thanks for listening.
Cheers.
Cheers.